So we took out the ads on all of it, sent it down to the and we vacated all of this stuff, boxed everything up, and then we pulled in.
They both look like they're going to caps, right?
This one has
This one has a funny screen on it.
Yeah, I know.
The YouTube one has a.
I'll look for a hearing aid. That's the next thing I got.
It has something. I don't want to touch it. It says
Let's see.
it says hit close.
Yeah. Or maybe just this one's working, but this one it closed. It looks like info. Now it's probably gonna work.
Yeah, they're working.
Now it's working.
Is the Facebook one working?
Yeah, it looks like.
I'm knocking into the. Yeah.
It's the one most people use. I think. So when I've been
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Hi, Alan. Hey, how are you? Welcome in. Bim, bam, bim, 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 bam. Bim, 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 bim. Cheery, merry, merry, bim. Bam, bim, 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 bam. Bim, 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 bim. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Bim, bam, bim, 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 bam. Bim, 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 bam. Shabbat shalom, welcome in. It says Achenu on the top of your service order in the bulletin. It's because I made a mistake.
Bless you.
The microphone off so you didn't have to hear me sneezing, but you kind of heard me anyway. Good evening. Oh my goodness. So the people who were going to light candles tonight unfortunately could not be here. So I would appreciate a volunteer to come up and light Shabbat candles.
Alan.
Not with these hands.
Alan,
If I try with
welcome.
these hands, it's going to be an accident. Tip them right over.
Light candles and then we do Kiddush together. Come right over here. The matches are in there. Come on this side. Lewis and I met Alan at the Chamber of Commerce meeting yesterday. I can tell you about his cool business later. Right there.
I would like to.
And the lessons in here.
We're waiting for the truck to extract the food. What about it? Extract the food. I would like to.
Wait, don't blow it out yet because we gotta wait till it takes. All right. They always think they're trick candles. They kind of give us a run for our money.
It works.
All right, we're good. Thank you. We celebrate Shabbat. We sanctify Shabbat. What happened? Oh. Told you they were trick. Page 4. We celebrate Shabbat. We start with words of creation. Vayehi erev vayehi boker yom hashishi vayakulu hashamayim v'haaretz v'chol tzivav vayechol Elohim vayom hashvi'i melato asher asa vayishbok vayom hashvi'i mikol melato asher asa vayivarech Elohim et yom hashvi'i Vayakadesh oto, Kivo Shabbat, Mikol Melachto, Kivo Shabbat, Mikol Melachto, Asher bara, Asher bara, Asher bara, Elohim la'asod, Baruch Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pori hagafem. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzah banu, v'shabbat kodsho, v'ahava u'ratzah, hinzilanu, zikaron le'maaseh b'reishit, kihu yom tehillah, l'mikra'e kodesh, zecher l'tziyat Mitzrayim, kivanu v'charta, v'yotanu kidashta, v'kohanim, v'shabbat kodshcha, v'yahava u'ratzon, inchaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai, Mikadesh HaShabbat. L'chaim. Mr. Clark, thank you very much. And welcome in. How's everybody doing? Anybody have any good news to share? Oh my goodness. Alan.
I met you and Louis yesterday, and I'm here tonight. Perfect.
Mazal tov, that's wonderful. We had a good week. Evan finished his first week of work, school, he's all settled in. Nothing bad's happened yet. We're happy. We're happy. Everything's good. And yes, I did enjoy the Chamber of Commerce meeting. It seems that there's all kinds of really cool stuff that's going on. I'm going to try to definitely get more involved. So.
Let's see your hands.
My what?
Your hands. The
No.
dishwashing hands.
My what hands?
Dishwashing hands.
We've been washing dishes.
Oh, yeah, because I don't have my dishwasher yet. This is true. So, I invite everybody to come into our circle. Seth washed dishes. Well, I told him, I said, if he got me the stuff, I would wash the dishes the whole month until the dishwasher came. And then I disappeared to come down to the Chamber of Commerce meeting. We create our circle of life. We make a circle. We join hands. People needs to be in the right place. It's our way of creating even more community just by sense of touch. Shalom Aleichem. Let's do it. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hashavim, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech, Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Malachem Hashalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech, Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Barchuni, Barchuni L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech, Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Says Hem L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech, Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shabbos! Good Shabbos. It's such a nice way to start the weekend. I invite you to please turn to page 16 as we read the English reading at the bottom of the page. We read together. Sing praise to Adonai. Sing with the lyre and melodious song. With trumpets and blasts of the horn, raise a shout for Adonai, the ruler. Let the sea and all within it thunder, the world and its inhabitants. Let the rivers clap their hands, the mountains sing joyously together at the presence of Adonai. For God is coming to rule the earth. God will rule the earth with justice, and its people with equity. L'chato D, page 20 and 21. L'chato D, l'ikrat kala, yalalai, 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 b'nei Shabbat, l'kavelah. L'chato D, l'ikrat kala, yalalai, 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 b'nei Shabbat, l'kavelah. Shamor Zachor, Shamor v'Zachor, v'Tibor Achad. El HaMichad, Adonai Echad, U'Shema Echad, Shemot Tiferet, V'Litzvi, L'Chadodi, 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 Yalalai, 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 B'nei Shabbat, L'Kavelah. Shabbat, Likrat Shabbat, Likrat Shabbat, L'Chuzin Nercha, Ki L'Kol, Ha'avaracha, Manors Kikenim, Nesucha, Sofla Aseh, V'Mach Shabbat Chila L'Chadodi. L'Chadodi, l'Ikrat kala, yalalai, 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 b'nei Shabbat, l'kavelah. L'Chadodi, l'Ikrat kala, yalalai, 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 b'nei Shabbat, l'kavelah. Hitorari, Hitorari, Hitorari. If you are comfortable doing so, please rise and face the doorway for Mo'ed Shalom. Mo'ed Shalom, Atem Balam, Gam V'Simcha, U'Zolam, Tovem Unei, Hamsin Kulam, Mo'ed Halal, Mo'ed Halal, L'Chadodi. L'Chadodi, l'Ikrat kala, yalalai, 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 b'nei Shabbat, l'kavelah. L'Chadodi, l'Ikrat kala, yalalai, 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 b'nei Shabbat, l'kavelah. You're seated. I invite you to join in the Hatzikadosh on page 26. Yitzgadal v'yitzgadash shemei rabah, v'amad yirachi rutei v'yamlik v'chutei, v'chayekom u'v'yomekom u'chayetecho ben Yisrael. Ba'agala please rise, ba'agala u'vizvah karim v'yimeru. Amen, please rise. Yeheshmei rabah v'vara, v'yalam yomei obaya, yitbarach, yitbarach v'yishtabach, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yinaseh, v'yitadar, v'yitaleh, v'yitaleh. Shirata, Tushkata, Nehemata, Talira, Milma, Mimaru. I'm gonna apologize. I saw Lewis standing up. I'm like, what did I miss? I missed something because we don't usually rise for Katsi Kaddish. No, we're standing for the barakah. What?
But now it's finished.
Oh, okay. But we are gonna not rise for the barakah. I will tell you though, depending on the synagogue you go to, there are some congregations that rise for the Katsi Kaddish before the barakah. So I'm adding a new rule. If it is your personal minchag or the minchag custom you grew up with to rise for the Katsi Kaddish, feel free. We are open to everybody. The barakah is on page 28. Let's do the traditional one today. Baruch hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam vayeh. And we are seated, page 30. Ma'avir yom u'mevi layla, ma'avir ben yom u'ben layla, Adonai tziva'ot shemo, l'chai v'kayam, tamidim l'chalech le'olam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai, ha'mavir, ha'mavir. And we turn to page 32. And read the English at the bottom. Everlasting love you offered your people of Israel.
By teaching us Torah and His mitzvot, laws and precepts, never from Adonai our God, we meditate on your laws and commandments, to rejoice in your Torah forever.
Day and night we reflect on them. They are our life, and doing them lengthens our days.
Never remove your love from us. Praise to
Ahavat Olam is at the top, also on page 32. Ahavat Olam, made Yisrael, Ahavat Torah u'mitzvot, u'kinu mishpatim, otanu levatal. Alkein Adonai Eloheinu, Yisroveinu u'bekumeinu, L'siyah b'chukecha, L'nishmat v'divrei Toratecha, u'b'mitzvotecha, L'yom ha'vayeh. V'yitei v'yenu, V'yorech yameinu, V'bahem neged yomav v'layla, V'yahavatcha al tasir mimenu le'olamim, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Amor Yisrael. Page 34 and 35 is when we take a moment. We take a moment to let the week go by. You can close your eyes, leave them open. This is the moment we let the week go. We enter Shabbat. Count our blessings for the week. Think about all the blessings you had this past week. Family, friends, partners, kids, nieces and nephews. However those blessings manifest, hold them into your heart as we breathe through the words of Shema. Shema Yisrael Adonai Torah. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levacha v'chol nafshecha v'chol echortecha v'hayu ha'devarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzadecha hayom la'olavecha v'shinantam l'nanecha v'divartam bam v'shivtecha v'beitecha v'uletecha v'terech v'shavtecha v'kunecha v'shartam le'ot v'agadecha v'hayu l'totafot v'einecha v'utatam al mezuzot eitecha v'visharecha. Amicha Mocha on page 40. Again, we're doing our traditional melody tonight. Micha Mocha ba'elim Adonai, Micha Mocha nedar b'kodesh, Nora tehilot, oseh tefillah, Nora tehilot, oseh tefillah, Malchutecha Ra'u banecha, Bokei hayam, Lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, Zeh li'anu v'yamru, Adonai yimlok, Adonai yimlok, le'olam va'ed. V'ne'emar v'yivata Adonai et Yaakov, u'ga'alo miyad chazak mimenu, Baruch atah Adonai, God Israel. Hashkivenu, the Hebrews on page 42, the setting for our melody is in your bulletin. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leShalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu, v'chayim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leShalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu, v'chayim. Lay me down, God, in peace, and raise me up to a world of living. Oh, safe from the storm, in the shelter of your shalom. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leShalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu, v'chayim. If I could follow you and know all of your ways and wisdom, oh, you'd keep me safe, and I'd always praise your name. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leShalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu, v'chayim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leShalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu, v'chayim. We're going right into our tefillah, page 46. If you're comfortable doing so, please rise. And as we daven our standing Amida, if the prayers of this book at this particular point are not meeting your needs, I encourage you to find something else in the book that does, or pray silently to yourself. We will pray out loud through 52 and silently through 62. Adonai, Sivatayita, Uvia, Gita, Hilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, and my mouth Yisrael Chasdeo, Me'imahot, U'mebi U'lalim Ne'Bneihem, L'mal Shalom Yahava, L'Gozer Moshiach Ma'im, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Yisrael Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayim Mitzim, Atah Rav L'Hoshia, Morid Hatal, Mechakel Chayim B'Chesed, Mechayim Mitzim B'Rachamim Rabim, So make no flim, Rofei Kolim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayim Emunato, Vishenye Afar, Vikamocha Ba'Gevurot, Umidorah, Melech Meimit, Umekayim, Umatzliach Yeshua, V'ne'ema Hatzalach HaGayot Mitzim, Baruch Atah Adonai, Mechayim HaMitzim, Atah Kadosh V'Shemcha Kadosh, Kadoshim V'Moyom, Yehalleluka Selah, Baruch Atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. Shalom Aleinu. Our healing list this evening. Keith Perlman, Linda Wachtel, Ed Booker, Donna Bricker are now. Joyce Aftab, Julie Schulman, Jessa Bauer, Mark Hunter Seymour, Jay Rossing, Lori Melman, Beverly Green Weston, Sharon Kramer, Carola Haroni, Louis Levin, Louisa O'Connell, Dick Squire, Ronald Pierre, Lily Abad, Maxine Croteau, Ira Nudis, Cheryl Delatora, Barbara Melman, Amy Mizell, Joe Leviton, Jed Rubin, Jesse Monteagudo, Wesley Doherty, Roy Mitchell, Rachmiel Avram Ben Leah, Michael Cutler, Nina Britton, Sylvia Kadosh, Jerry Besson, Andrew Ali Perlman, Bruce Rhodes, Rabbi Fred Natkin, Alan Mitchell, David Canal, Christopher Richard Pitts Jr., Alan Youngleson, Bill Nissen, Ed Lieberman, Chuck Carroll, Bill Potter, Don Rubin, Ronald Blank, Sarah Ben Elisheva, Reuben Ben Hadassah, Barbara Culler, Wendy Darrow, Rabbi David Mark, Don Squire, Tim Cuny, Ephraim Ben Daniel, Debbie Melman, Patty Melman, Michael Bowling, Meyer Ben Sarah, Chaim David, Tom Rea, Harry Woodside, Tom Keenan, Mark Harris, Marcia Chaya, Wendy Dworkin. As my eyes meet yours, if you have additional names for Misha Barak, now is the time to say them.
Gad Reisenberger.
Tim Smith.
Peter Larson.
We turn to page 253. For our missionary. Page 259. We read at the bottom of the page. O Heavenly One, protector and redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it with the wings of your love, spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send lamps who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there. Amen. So tonight, we begin learning the final book of the Torah, Devarim, or Deuteronomy. Devarim literally means words. It means words or things, but I'm sticking with words. And I remember being in my Torah study classes in school and listening to my professors talk about how many scholars thought that the Torah should have ended after the last book, Numbers. But that also goes along with the scholars who thought that the Torah shouldn't have started until Abraham's story. But there were and there are many, many scholars, and by now there are probably 50 million opinions about the Torah and where it should have started and should have ended, and and we're never going to read them all, so that's okay. But Devarim is a retelling of the stories of our people. It's most of the first 4 books. Now, Bnei Israel, the children of Israel, has been assembled before Moses for the retelling of their journeys, where he recalls the appointment of judges and magistrates, who were assigned to mete out justice and teach the people God's words. He talks about the journey from Sinai to where they are now, the sending of the spies that we learned about just a few weeks ago, and at that time God's decision to not allow any of the current generation to enter the land. What did he say? Your carcasses will fall at where they are. Only Joshua and Caleb were allowed to enter the promised land, and that included, Moses wasn't getting to go in either. So I guess since Moses wasn't going to get to go into the land anyway, he thought it was just fine to once again rebuke Bnei Israel for their inequities and their failure to follow many of the mitzvot. He also tried again to persuade them to keep the Torah, to observe the commandments, so that at least their children would be able to take possession of the land. And even as Moses continued with his repetition, he still took the time to discuss the refusal of the 2 nations, Moab and Ammon, to let the Israelites pass through to the land, even though they were willing to pay for it. He impresses upon the people as best he can that God assured them that our people would be successful, even dealing with the trials and the tribulations of the travel and those 2 nations that said, no, you can't go through here. And he also kept informing them that Joshua would be their leader going forward. But still, the people had a hard time listening. The repetition is important. Next week when we study Parshat Hanan, which was Seth's bar mitzvah portion, which also happens next Friday to be his birthday, the Aseret HaDibrot, the 10 Commandments, appear again. Now those, of course, are definitely worth repeating, don't you think? And the most significant events that happen on the journey are also worth repeating. The journey it's called Yetziat Mitzrayim, the Exodus from Egypt. But why so much repetition? If you believe, as the Orthodox do, that the Torah was written in its entirety on Mount Sinai and given to Moses, already done, then you can ignore the question, why the repetition? Because it's relevant. If you believe that men, and I'm not saying women, men, the aggregators of the Torah and the redactors of Deuteronomy in particular, which is what we learned in school, all the different authors, how they put it all together. If you believe that men, human beings, had a hand in the formalization of the Hebrew biblical canon, then perhaps those scholars and sages felt that the people needed to have things repeated to them over and over again. In every parsha that we read, and even throughout the prophets and the writings, Bnei Israel are constantly being told over and over again, follow the rules and you will be rewarded. Ignore the rules and you will be punished. Throughout the entire Tanakh, there are multiple time periods and kingdoms and locations, the creation and destruction of 2 temples, Jews in Israel, in Babylon, and back again, exiled and back. It seems that the repetition reward or punishment, reward or punishment, is a continuous theme. So, question for the class. Raise your hand if you have children, grandchildren, or even if you have nieces and nephews that you had a hand in caring for once in a while. How many times have you had to repeat the same thing over and over and over again? Now, Seth and I raised boys, so repetition was my entire life for quite a while. Not if you agree. And the toddler years, I could have had the same words tattooed on my forehead for all the times I had to say things over and over again. And when we travel the path of the stories in our text, it often seems like God treats our people as toddlers. Can you imagine God getting frustrated and saying, "What did I tell you earlier?
Yeah.
I've said it 100 times. Why aren't you listening?"
Do as I do, not as I do. As I do.
The truth is, God did say many times multiple things,
Pretty well behaved.
although much more formally and with greater consequence than no SpongeBob for you tonight. So, how does the repetition in the book of Devarim imbue greater meaning in our sacred texts? After all, the reason that we're all here is to find that meaning, find deeper meaning. When we study the same text year after year, right? It's a repetition every year. Now remember, the generation he's talking to is not just the people whose carcasses, you say, are going to fall where they land, but the generation that is hearing this is mostly made up of the generation that will be entering the land. These people have been wandering the desert for 40 years. Most of the prior generation would have died. The repetition creates a sense of ownership for the children of those people who have now pretty much grown up. And they have the opportunity to own those words that they didn't necessarily own when they were little, when they first set out. The words can now be assimilated, that they've grown into adults of their own standing. The repetition of the Aseret HaDibrot, the Ten Commandments, it falls on new ears as Moses is doing this repetition. And hearing the stories becomes part of their history, their own history, the history of this new generation, not just their parents or their ancestors' history. They have their own way to own it, to own their story. Repetition of words over and over again is one of the ways that we create memory. How much better do we do? How much better do we remember when we hear things 100 times as opposed to only once or twice? College exams, anybody? And when those memories are formed, they become part of the fabric of society. A path toward the future built on the common ground that binds that society together. The observance of mitzvot in the case of that generation. Even today, when many Jews observe less mitzvot than their ancestors, the repetition of those words still allows us to put ourselves in the shoes of our ancestors. Feel what they felt, even just for a moment. And perhaps it allows us to incorporate those memories into our own consciousness. So, in modern times, repetition is not always positive. Look at what's going on the internet today. Damaging, hateful words, especially about our people, have made their way into the social discourse, into the media, into world's affairs. And those repeated falsehoods have done tremendous damage to the lives and safety of Jews all over the world. which is why the repetition of our sacred stories is so important. We must repeat our stories. We must relearn the message of our people, assimilate those lessons, and use them as a shield against all the hate noise that's coming at us from all different angles. Even if we have to hear those lessons over and over again, it ensures that we don't forget how unique we are as a people, how special we are, as our Torah says, in the light of God. We remember that we were chosen after all the other peoples had rejected God's offer of the law. We were chosen, and we chose back. That's the definition of being chosen. We chose. The people of Israel chose to accept those laws as both a burden and a privilege. And the repetition makes it all that more sacred. It helps us to look at our status in the world, not as a beleaguered people who are constantly picked on, but as a special and significant people that has survived more than our share of challenges over the past 4,000 years. Seth said, it's really 5,787 years. That's the year we're coming up on. So, keep telling our stories. Tell it to your children. Tell it to your nephews. Tell it to your friends. Tell it to your younger friends. Bring people here to hear them with you. That's how we keep the repetition going and how we keep it sacred. Do you need me to repeat it again? Yeah. Shabbat Shalom.
I missed some of what she said.
It is time for Aleinu. I invite you to turn to page 282. And if you are comfortable doing so, please rise. We start in the middle of the page. The one at the top of the page is kind of abbreviated and combined. The one that starts in the middle of the page is the traditional version, which is what we choose to say. Please rise as the ark is open. Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon hakol, la'tekedu la'yotzeh b'reishit, shelo asanu kriyei haratzot, v'lo samanu k'nishbachot ha'adama, shelo samkenu kahem, v'lo aleinu k'kol ha'olam, v'anachnu homim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, lifnei melech, Malchei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Shehu notei shamayim v'yotzei haaretz, Moshe mikaro hashamayim b'ma'ah, U'shchinatu zo, v'govei meromim, U'Eloheinu Eino, Emet Malkeinu Efezuato, Kakatu, V'Torato, V'yadata hayom V'hashivota El Ilamecha, Ki Adonai Hu Elohim, V'Shamayim V'Yiva'al, V'Yaharetz V'Yitachad כי על מלכות שלחכי ולמעטים לך לכבוד, ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר, להר אדוני, למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא, יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. This week, we remember Julia Hyman, remembered by Mitchell Weissner. Judy Rabiner, remembered by Mark Rabiner. Jeff Stern, remembered by Jerry Besson in the congregation. Joseph Mack, remembered by Harvey Graver. Murray Lichtenstein, remembered by Paul Gazzaro in the congregation. Barry Bates, remembered by Stacy Ziegler in the congregation. Martin Harnick, remembered by Daniel Slitz and Howard Chaikin. Louise Carson, remembered by Julie Carson. Bob Geller, remembered by Harley Green. Andrew Levin, remembered by Louis Levin and family. Dr. Philip Greenberg, remembered by Tim Wyke and family. Solomon Mizrahi, remembered by Adam Perlman. Barbara Hirsch Cadillac, remembered by Howard Chaikin and Daniel Smits. Charles Chaim Kopp, remembered by Frank Goldsmith. Ira Spivak, remembered by Howard Chaikin and Daniel Smits. Our yard site list: Lawrence Cohen, Louis Eisenberg, Israel Pfizer, Michael Frisch, Adeline Gronewetter, Joseph Kaboff, Sarah Kramer, Walter Levin, Fanny Pepper, Jane Rosenbaum, Sylvia Schlossberg, Esther Schwarzenfeld, Dr. Lawrence Tublin, Rose Wetzler, James Corgi, Rosalind Essig, Mildred Friesen, Jenny Gantz, Harry Henkin, Mildred Kempler, Pedro Krasnowski, Dan Bauman, George Potts, Olivia Rosenberg, Dr. Edward Schwarzenfeld, Louise L. Swagman, and Rose Waldman. Are there any other yard sites to be observed this evening? Before I rise for Kaddish, I remember the American and Israeli service members who stood watch for our nations, those who guarded others in the dark hours, those whose duty carried them far from home, and those whose lives ended in the line of service. May the Holy One who brings peace to the high heavens bring peace to their spirits, comfort to their families, and strength to all who carry their memory. As I say Kaddish, I sanctify life in their honor. I join my voice with all who mourn, and I pray that the work of their hands helps bring the world closer to peace. As together we say, Amen. Page 294, the Mourner's Kaddish. If you are in the first year of mourning, I ask you to please rise. If you are observing yard site tonight, I ask you to please rise. If you wish to rise for Mourner's Kaddish, please rise. Kaddish Yatom, page 294. Yikadal Yitkadash Shmei Rabah, Ba'allah Tibrach Yerutei, Yamlik Malutei, B'chayecho V'yomecho, B'chayei Zechol Beit Yisrael, Ba'adulah Bizman Kariv Emru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabah Mevarach, Le'alam U'lomei Amaya, Yitvarach V'yishtabach, V'yitpa'ar V'yitramah V'yitnaseh, V'yitadar V'yitaleh V'yithalal, Shmei Yishal Rifu, Le'ela Yikol Birchata V'shirata, Shmechata V'nechemata, Ta'amiran V'yamah V'yimru Amen. Yehei Shmal Rabah Min Shemaya, V'chayim Alei V'al Yisrael, V'yimru Amen. Aseh Shalom V'rama, V'ya Aseh Shalom, Alei V'al Yisrael, V'yimru Amen. And we're seated, and I invite Mark Brown to do our announcement.
Shabbat Shalom. I'm pleased to welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us here tonight, including those of you who are watching on Facebook and YouTube. Thank you, Rabbi Marsha, for leading our services tonight. You did a wonderful job as always. Thank you, Larry and Louis, for working the front desk tonight. Thank you to the following people for making donations this week. Renewed memberships, Robert Chimsky and Les McRae. Thank you also to those who generously donated to the tzedakah box this past week. And I would interrupt to say, if there's anybody here who is not on our mailing list, you're welcome to sign, put your email down, and you'll get our weekly schedule of events. Tonight's Oneg is sponsored by Michael Tublin in honor of his father, Dr. Lawrence Tublin's yahrzeit. Michael's not here tonight. so that means more cake for us. Remember, if you wish to sponsor an Oneg in the future, please sign up with the information sheet at the front table. Onegs are an important part of our congregation, and it means a lot to everyone when we can share some nice refreshments after services. Upcoming events. Next board meeting will take place this coming Monday night, July 20, 6:30 p.m. This will be a virtual meeting. The next first Friday of the month, Shabbat dinner will take place August 7th at the Peter Pan Diner. Please let our Vice President Don Squire know if you'll be coming so he can reserve a seat for you. Next meeting of the book club will take place Saturday, August 15th from 11 to 2. The new book under discussion is Fear No Pharaoh by Rickard Kreitner. If you would like to participate, you can email via our website or talk to Gary Brown, who runs the book club. And remember, we serve a full deli lunch at the book club meetings. The electronic memorial board is up and running. This is a wonderful way to honor your deceased loved ones. You can access the memorial board via our website, or there are information forms available on the table. Remember, we are here for you as your community. We are your source of friendship and mutual support. We are your spiritual center of gravity. Shabbat Shalom. And I forgot to mention, high holidays are just around the corner, so we're starting to work on putting it together now. But take a look at your calendars for September and early October.
Thank you, Mark. High holidays are in less than 2 months. There will be information going out in the schmooze, starting probably this coming week. If there's anybody who would like to participate, if you would like an honor opening the Ark, if you would like to do a reading, if you would like an aliyah to the Torah, those are the kinds of things we're going to start asking for and putting together. Anybody here wants to read Torah? I'm happy to teach. Happy to teach. Okay. We are going to close our service out tonight with the Birkat Kohanim. I invite you, if you're comfortable doing so, to please rise.
I appreciate that she says that.
I'm sorry?
I appreciate that you say that.
What?
That you can rise, be afraid.
You know, not everybody is able to, and that's okay. It's absolutely fine. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and protect you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichunecha. May God deal kindly and graciously with you. Yisar Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God bestow favor upon you and grant you peace. Shabbat Shalom. Harley will be leading the bracha and the motzi. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week. Shabbat Shalom.